Hello. I did an astrology update, a general astrology update a few days ago for the full moon that was coming up. That's coming up in a little over 24 hours, actually. So, 4:56 a.m. Pacific time, August 26th. 4:56 a.m. 456 is an easy number to remember time-wise. 4:56 a.m. Pacific time, August 26th. So, a little over 24 hours. And even though I did that video, I kind of felt inspired and compelled to do another one because I'm hoping that you felt and you sensed the energetic shift with Mercury going direct. Mercury went direct this past weekend. It's Friday now. And I said then, and I will stand by this, when Mercury goes direct, it takes 3 or 4 days to really feel that, people say give it 24 to 48 hours. People say 48 hours typically, and it takes a little longer. I hope, given the fact that Mercury is now direct, and given the fact that we're dealing with a full moon, and therefore, as it is, there's a greater resurgence in activity and productivity, I hope that you can feel the difference between this week and, frankly, the past 3 weeks, the past 6 weeks, practically since the end of June, even though Mercury was only retrograde for 3 weeks. If you're not seeing forward movement externally, I hope that you're seeing forward movement internally. A greater readiness to be productive, a greater readiness to take certain things on, more energy. As I said, some of it has to do with the fact that from a new moon to the full moon, things peak anyway. And pay attention to the things that you've been working on or that have been brought to you, and especially around a full moon. If you know where the sign of Pisces falls in your chart, pay attention to what related to that has been brought to you 48 hours, 72 hours, I would say, before a full moon, especially 48 hours, the day of the full moon, even up to a couple of days after. I would really look at 48 hours before a full moon. Typically, that's what I would look at. But sometimes 3 or 4 days before a full moon, you were like, I know, for example, where it's falling in my chart. I'm like, oh, there it is. On a few occasions, it's been the day after the full moon, interestingly. It doesn't have to be big or dramatic. It's a full moon. We have one every 4 weeks. I like to say that for people who, and really, as far as the full moon itself and what full moons do and how you feel around a full moon, look to the last video, last general update I did. I'm going to put a link to that at the end of this one, so you can just go back and take a look at that. What I really want you to be present about right now, which is what this video is about, is the shift in energy and hopefully for most of us, greater productivity, and at the very least, a greater impetus and desire to tackle things and move forward with them. Now, the full moon happens the 26th, Mars goes direct on the 27th. And really what I want you to look at is the end of next week as you head into the first week of September. It's possible that since August the 13th till September the 11th, you will be contending with things that you dealt with between the middle of March and the middle of May. So it could be that you see some developments after Sunday, especially that are forward moving, where you're re-tackling or re-having to deal with or re-putting to bed or contend with things that were active and you were directing energy towards them between the middle of March to the middle of May. After September the 11th, when Mars re-enters Aquarius, I've said this before, I will say this again, till the middle of November, till November the 15th, is your opportunity. If there were things, if you were moving forward in a certain way, and since June the 26th, everything kind of went on hold, or all forward momentum was taken, the wind was taken out of your sails, and the forward movement has not been present, and the energy has been really static and stagnant. That is the word I will say. It may not have been stagnant for people who have Mars retrograde in their birth chart and Mercury retrograde in their birth chart. Those are the two exceptions I will make. But for everybody else, know that if at least internally, in terms of your thoughts and your cognition and your desire to move forward, the desire has been there this past week increasing. If there's a greater desire for productivity, greater internal resolve, by the end of next week, you've got to give Mars a week or so to start moving forward to. By the end of next week, external actions will start to match that too, and external events will start to match that too. Till September the 11th, you will be contending with things that you were dealing with till the middle of May, middle of March to middle of May. After September 11th to the middle of November, dot the I's, cross the T's on the things that are related to the Aquarius eclipses that occurred between June the 7th and August the 7th, 2017, and since February the 15th of this year to July the 27th of this year, things that have been accelerating since May the 27th of this year, okay? So, but it's not all done. It's not all done. It will all get done between September the 11th and November the 15th. Whatever it is that gets done as a result of eclipses can take years to continue to resolve and play out. But the lightning bolts timing is contained as to when it is that things happen. So once again, the timing to think about what is it that you're trying to release and needs to be released. And sometimes it's something physical, sometimes it's a relationship, sometimes it's an object, sometimes it's a home, sometimes it's a career, sometimes it's a job, sometimes it's a person, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it is an attachment to something. Sometimes it is a self-esteem issue around something that we fall back on very easily and hold on to very easily, and that may have a sense of security around it, but is actually holding us back. It is in cutting that cord, whether you're cutting it to something physical or cutting it to a belief or a pattern, that is going to allow the boat to move forward. And we're just getting to that point on August the 27th with this full moon, but the day after, that final event that we're waiting for. There's one more event, which is Mars's entry into Aquarius on September the 11th. But I think that just Mars moving forward, Mercury moving forward last weekend, Mars moving forward starting Monday, but give it another 5 days or so, please. So let's say by the beginning of September, we'll really put an end to the energy of stagnation that most of us have been dealing with and been frustrated by. Be careful what you wish for. Forward movement brings its own. There's something comforting about being in stagnation too, because the change is not here. Change is not being brought to you. The difference between the energy of this week and next week, as I said, it's possible that this week, especially as you head towards the full moon, there's greater resolve and there's a desire to move forward. It's your internal energy. Starting the end of next week, external events and external energy and actions will also start to match that. And this is it in terms of starting to clear items and energies that have been with us really since December of 2016. We're now entering, between now and January the 21st, we're now entering the last of the Leo Aquarius eclipse cycles. That car alarm agrees. So go ahead and really think about what it is that you want to lean into and what changes you want to make and what you want to release. Reflect on the dates that I mentioned. I'm going to summarize that. Awesome, Natalia. So am I. I have to tell you, I'm responding to comments that are coming up in the live chat. Once again, between now and September the 11th, you maybe find yourself dealing with things that were active between mid-March and mid-May of this year. After September 11th, things that need to be released, beliefs, patterns, objects, people, whatever it was, that have a certain amount of comfort and inertia around them, but really do need to be released so that you can move forward. September the 11th to November the 15th of this year, the final countdown, the final rip the Band-Aid off so that you can move forward, so that whatever it is that you're meant to lean into, you really can, through January the 21st of 2019. If you want clues as to what it is that needs to be released, Those dates, once again, June the 7th of 2017 to August the 7th of 2017. February the 15th of this year, give or take a week or two, to January 27th of this year, accelerating for May the 27th, but it wasn't all done. And it was June the 26th when this kind of pause button suspension happened. Because June the 26th, Mars went retrograde. July the 26th, or thereabouts, Mercury went retrograde. And all of a sudden, we were asked to revisit and rethink about and really get clear. And, kind of an inner strength and resolve. Things have been shown to us to really determine whether we really want to move forward as we intended to, or whether we want to make any modifications, or whether we want to change our minds entirely. So, really, the biggest reason why I felt inspired to do this was to say, Mercury is direct. Hopefully by now it's Friday night, Friday evening, and as you head into the weekend, I hope you feel like, okay, we're ready to move forward. And the readiness is there. Give it another week, and the events will conspire to do so as well. Okay, I'm not going to repeat all the dates, everything again. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great full moon, and if it brings a certain amount of drama, pay attention to what that drama is about. If you want more about the full moon and the full moon new moon cycle and all that kind of stuff, I'll put a link to my last update from a few days ago, right about now, I think, and you'll be able to revisit that. I will be in touch soon. Thanks. Bye.